Put 'em up. It's Carl Dukes, and it's time for another Dukes Dump. The Atlanta Falcons have restructured quarterback Matt Ryan's contract to help create salary cap space for the upcoming season. Well, what do I always say about making teams competitive for the next season? Dukesism. I don't care about 5 years from now. All I care about is what kind of team we're going to have on the field come September. Falcon fans need to understand one thing. Matt Ryan is not the problem. Every team that's made the decision to pay their quarterback elite quarterback money, which, oh, by the way, has gone up since Matt signed his deal, they have to make the same decisions the Falcons are making regarding creating more room under the cap to maneuver and attempt to put a playoff quality team on the field. It's part of the NFL. I think the bigger question is when you do a restructure and extend that player, can they still help you win? Matt Ryan has been restructured 4 times since March of 2019 to help the team win. Why? Because he's the highest paid player. So you equate that with, well, we ain't going to do a Super Bowl. Hold on. Let's look at Matt Ryan, the player, just for a second. In 2012, Matt Ryan was 27 years old, and he led the Falcons to the NFC Championship game. His numbers that season in 16 games under former offensive coordinator Dirk Cutter, 68% completion rate. He threw for over 4,700 yards, 32 touchdowns, 14 interceptions, and averaged 294 yards per game. His quarterback rating was 99. He threw the ball 615 times. The next season in 2013, the Falcons won 4 games, even though Matt threw the ball 36 more times. The offense had no balance, and they couldn't run the ball or protect the quarterback. Fast forward to 2016. When Matt Ryan was 31 years old and led the Falcons to the Super Bowl. He won the MVP in 16 games under former offensive coordinator Kyle Shanahan. He had a 69% completion rate, 4,900 yards, 38 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 309 yards per game, and his quarterback rating was 117. Anything around 100, by the way, with the quarterback rating, you're in good shape. He threw the ball 534 times and completed 373 completions. Less passing attempts, more wins. This was a balanced offense that ran the ball effectively and led the league in scoring at almost 35 a game. This was a statistically historic offense. And yes, Matt didn't have 50 touchdowns. You know why? Balance. In 2018, Matt Ryan was 33 years old, and the team couldn't run the ball effectively, and the Falcons went 7-9. They did not make the playoffs in the 16-game regular season, but Matt still completed 69% of his completions, threw for over 4,900 yards, 35 touchdowns, 7 interceptions, 307 yards per game, and his quarterback rating was 108. In a year that the team was almost last in every category running the football, Matt Ryan put up 20 yards less, 3 touchdowns less, and 2 yards less per game from his MVP season with a different coordinator in Steve Sarkisian. The quarterback play was great. I don't understand anybody who's saying Matt Ryan is the problem. It's Carl Dukes. It's a Dukes Dump, guys. We're talking about Matt Ryan, the restructuring of his contract, and why you shouldn't be pointing the finger at him. But wait, there's more. In 2020, Matt Ryan was 35 years old. The team won 4 games, but lost leads late in the fourth quarter to the Cowboys, Bears, Panthers, Lions, Chargers, Chiefs. That's 6 games. His completion rate, 65%. Threw for over 4,500 yards, 26 touchdowns, 11 interceptions with a 292 yards per game throwing average and a 93 quarterback rating. He threw the ball this last year 626 times. He completed over 400, 407 to be as a matter of fact. And the Falcons threw it more in 2020 but had less success because, again, you want to say it with me? No balance. The Falcons once again found themselves with a limited running game. And Ryan threw for 363 total yards less than his MVP year. 17 yards less per game over a 16-game season than he did in 2016. Explain it. I'll explain it. Matt Ryan is not the problem. His contract and how to maneuver it to create more cap space without hurting the team has been the issue. The player can still play at a high level, and he's shown it. This is the challenge of every NFL team that's committed to pay their quarterback the going rate of top quarterbacks in the league. Matt Ryan has proven through 3 different offensive coordinators from 2012 to 2020, Dirk Cutter was here twice, that his production has not really fallen off. Despite the lack of a consistent running game and being the victim of 3 years of bad defenses under former coach Dan Quinn. So Atlanta Falcon fans, stop blaming Matt Ryan and let's make the team around him better. Offensive line, running game, defense. That's how you win now. Put 'em up!